This is Mr. Martin. These are video notes for Unit 5. We're talking about the unit circle. In this video I'm going to go over 3 of these practice problems. In case you had some trouble, I'm going to go through B and D and also F. And then if you had any other questions about these, make sure you ask. And these answers should have been posted in class as well if you wanted to take a picture for your reference in the future. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we notice about B is that the angle is larger than 2 pi. So anytime we have an angle that's larger than 2 pi, absolute value wise, we're going to have to either add or subtract a full revolution. So in this case, since we're dealing in radians, we're going to have to add or subtract 2 pi more than once. So to get our first coterminal angle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 8 pi minus 3, and I'm going to subtract 2 pi, which in terms of thirds is 6 pi over 3. So that's going to give us 2 pi over 3. So that's going to give us one of our coterminal angles. And then I'm going to take my 8 pi over 3 and I'm going to subtract 2 times 2 pi. Again, 2 pi in thirds is 6 pi over 3, so that's 12 pi over 3. So 8 minus 12 is negative 4, so I have negative 4 pi over 3. And now I have one positive and one negative coterminal angle. Okay, keep in mind that the directions we're asking for one positive and one negative coterminal angle. And that's pretty common for these type of problems. Now for part D, notice there's no pi in here, and it does tell us radians, but most of the time if it's in radians it's just going to say 3.5. It won't have any other indication. You just won't have a degree symbol. So 3.5 radians, we're going to do the same process. So we're going to do 3.5 and let's subtract 2 pi, and we're just going to go ahead and plug that whole 2 pi into our calculator. And when you do this, you should get a decimal, and this is going to be about negative 2.78 radians. Again, we don't really need to put units here. If there's no units included, we know that it's going to be radians. And then I'm going to take 3.5 and I'm going to add 2 pi. And again, plugging everything into the calculator, that should give us about 9.78 radians. And our original angle 3.5 radians, we knew that that was less than 2 pi. 2 pi would have been around 6.28, so that's how we knew to add, just add and subtract 2 pi and we would get our answers. Now for part F, 9 pi is larger than 2 pi. So a lot of times what I'll do here is I'll take my angle and I'll either divide it by 360 if it's in degrees to figure out how many full revolutions are in it, or I'll divide it by 2 pi if it's in radians to figure out how many full revolutions I have as well. So 9 pi divided by 2 pi is 4.5. So I'm going to use this later because I know that 4.5 revolutions gets me all the way around, and I'm going to have to get a negative coterminal angle. So really what this is telling me is that I'm going to have to go 5 times around, or multiply by 5 for my 2 pi. And we're going to subtract in order to get a negative coterminal angle. So let's just start by subtracting 2 pi once. That'll give us another positive coterminal angle, so that's 7 pi. So there's my positive coterminal angle. And then let's do 9 pi minus, so I already figured out 4.5 times will get me back, so I'm going to have to do at least 5 times, minus 5 times 2 pi. So that's 10 pi, so 9 pi minus 10 pi gives me negative pi, and there's my negative coterminal angle. Okay, so again, anytime you have an angle that's larger than 360 or 2 pi, figure out how much larger it is, and that will give you a clue on how many times you're going to have to subtract that full revolution. So as always, if you have any questions, make sure that you ask, and we'll see you in the next video.